I love today's gospel because, first of all, it's great to be with you at Lourdes, like always, but more than ever, it's so hot right now, and Father Brian is at St. Louis, and as you know, we lost our AC. So now he's sweating, just saying the 10 a.m. at St. Louis, and so it's really great to be at Lourdes when, everything works. Yes. No, St. Louis works, but, just AC broke down. It's difficult. That's one of the crosses. But I love today's gospel because Jesus actually, he's really straight to the point. Sometimes you know him. Sometimes he's like, oh, this parable, that parable. And then even the apostles, they were like, what did you mean? Like, can you repeat? And so today he really does this really well. He tells us, how to be his disciple in the way what you shouldn't do, So maybe just two clear messages from today's gospel. The very first one is, but I can see quite easily, Jesus wants us to have no illusions about following him. It's difficult. This path is a hard path. Our nature is fallen, of course, and to get back up again, even with his grace helping us, is going to be hard. And you know this. You know how it works. That's why he says, whoever does not carry his own cross and come after me cannot be my disciple. You have to do what I say. But the second message is that following him is more than feelings. You have to be smart. That's my message. You have to be smart. You have to sometimes really sit down and think. Faith is not just about emotions and feelings, because they change, but about really loving God, not on the level of emotions, but really decisions. So that's the second message. It's difficult to follow Jesus, and we have to sometimes sit down and think. So maybe few pictures that can help us out to get this much easier. The very first one is, as you know, I love Star Wars, right? Yes? No? You should say yes at this point. It's been a year for me and Father Sean, so I've been using actually Star Wars a lot in my homilies, and actually Father Brian and Father Sean are making fun of me. But I use more Darth Vader than Jesus sometimes, but it works, If it works, why not? And so, another message from this great franchise. You know who is the God the Father of the Star Wars? Yes? No? George Lucas? Okay. He created the Star Wars. And so once he was asked, because the first movie came out in 1977, The New Hope. And so he was asked, how did you write the screenplay? How did it work? So this is what he said. I grew up in a middle-class, Midwestern-style American town with the corresponding work ethic. So I sit at my desk for 8 hours a day, no matter what happens. Even if I don't write anything. I know it's a terrible way to live, but I do it. I really sit down and do it. I can't get out of my chair until 5 o'clock or 5:30 or whenever the news comes on. It's the only way I can force myself to write. I work with a hard pencil and regular lined paper. I put a big calendar on the wall. Tuesday I have to be on page 25. Wednesday on page 30, and so on. And every day I X it off. I did those 5 pages. And if I do my 5 pages early, I get to quit. Never happens. I've always got about 1 page done by 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and during the next hour, I usually write the rest. The last hour is the best one out of 8. So Jesus tells his disciples that they have to be like the king planning to go to war, or like a builder planning to build a tower. You have to sometimes sit and think, what should I do? What should I do with my faith? We need to decide to take our faith seriously. And it takes time. It takes time really to sit down again and think, I need to plan something. How can I improve my life? But we cannot cheat. There is no cheating here. We don't have any shortcuts. Last week, I went to 3rd grade at the South Campus just to say hello. But of course, I was surprised by the kids, because they asked me if I can do what Father Brian said no to. I'm like, okay, what do you want me to do? Father Witold, can you challenge us with how long you can do plank? Plank is when you're like straight line, you're on your elbows and your feet, you're like this. I'm like, well, it's been a while since I've been working out, really. I just do road cycling now, so it's mostly about my legs, not any, the upper body. But, I can do it. I can try. The goal is, I think, if I'm not mistaken, if you can manage at least 2 minutes and more, you are good. So I said to the kids, I was kind of confident, if I win with you, all of you, okay, you owe me like a cookie a day for a year. But if I lose, I will bring you cookies. But next week, okay? Just once, not the whole year, just once. And they said, okay, let's do it. So we did this, and I set up a timer. We started, this challenge. And kids are kids, as you know, so they cheat. Okay. I was on my elbows, shaking after 2 minutes. But I know they're kids, but I have to win. I'm not this guy like I'm gonna let them, So I do my best, shaking, But I see kids are cheating because they are on their hands, and feet. It's plank is you have to be on your elbow, straight line, and they're like, like you. Like just, and they're fine, like, Father, what's wrong? I'm like, this is now how you do it. There is, in the Christian life, you cannot cheat. You have to take up your cross and follow him. It's difficult. You're gonna be shaking spiritually, but you can manage. So of course, after like 3 minutes, I said, no, I won, you are cheating, so you owe me a cookie. They said, we need to do a rematch, so I said, this time you have to be okay with me, okay? No cheating next time. They said, yes, we will see. 3rd graders, they always do this to me. But I think this picture, and with George Lucas and the 3rd graders show us that we need to really be smart. We need to sit down and think what we want to do, and really set a time to do it. And we cannot cheat. If we follow both, we are fine. We can be disciples of Jesus. Again, there are no shortcuts. We have to just do it. Another thing that comes to my mind with commitments is that usually New Year's Day, January 1st, is the day for most of us when we say something like, I'm gonna lose weight. That's a popular one. Or I'm gonna stop eating sweets. Or I'm gonna start working out. But what I read that by January 30th, so it takes just 4 weeks, 90% of people give up. Okay? And then they usually say, oh, I'm gonna wait till, the next January, and I will try again. So I have like 11 months to do what I want. No, you shouldn't. You should start even tomorrow, okay? Commitments are good, and if you fail, get up and do it again. In the Catholic world, it's called confession. You can always start fresh. Don't go to the confession once a year, okay? The church says so, But I always say with Father Brian and Father Sean, like once a month, it's a good rule. If you go once a week, that's even better, but once a month, it's a good thing. So you can always start fresh. You don't have to wait till January. We have to be really smart about what we do. Commitments are great, but if we don't follow them, what's the point? We want to be like the king who sits down and thinks, that's what I'm going to do. And if it looks I'm going to lose, let's send a delegation to set up peace terms. Or if you build, a tower or a house, right? You have to know how much money it would cost. And do I have it? Do I have it? We live in this world when everything is smart now. Cell phones, cars, TVs, I don't know what else, But sometimes I think we forget about ourselves. So what about just sitting down and thinking, how can I really do my faith better? How can I really go forward with my faith and relationship with God? Because all these smart devices don't have answers to anything, right? And to prove it to you, I can ask one of the famous one, Alexa or Siri, right? These two, they usually know everything, but not always. So let's ask what one of them thinks. I don't have Alexa with me, but I have Siri. So let's see what she says, okay? How can I be smart?
I don't know how to respond to that.
See, she doesn't know. What about listening to him? Because he really knows.